Hi there, welcome back to Level Up Your Russian. In today's video, we are going to practice the 6 Russian cases. So, what are Russian cases? Simply put, cases tell us the role of a word in a sentence. You probably already know that in the Russian language there are 6 cases: nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, instrumental, and prepositional. In this video, we will practice each of the 6 Russian cases separately. Before we start with the practice of a specific case, I will first give you a quick overview of that case, plus a tip which will help you practice the case on your own more effectively. At the end of this video, we will also do a mixed case practice. If you're not sure about the declension of nouns and adjectives in a specific case, don't worry. Simply click on the link in the description box where you can access the declension tables for all of the 6 Russian cases for free. And now let's start practicing the 6 Russian cases. Let's start with the easiest one, the nominative case. This case is used for the subject of the sentence or the thing that is doing the action. For example, я студент. Student is in the nominative case. Он врач. He is a doctor. Врач is in the nominative case. As you can see, in the nominative case, the words are in their default form. So now let's do a quick practice. Your task is to fill in the blank using the correct form of the noun in the brackets. Here, obviously, we will only need to put the nouns into the nominative case, which is the base form, so basically we don't need to change the form of the word at all. So let's start. Это стол. Моя сестра. Учитель. Он врач. Это моя новая книга. Ты хороший друг. So as we said, the nominative case is the base form of the nouns. Therefore, we didn't need to change the form of the words in brackets. Here is a quick tip. When learning vocabulary, always start by memorizing the nominative form of a noun. This is your starting point for all other cases. Next up is the genitive case. This one can be tricky because it has a few different uses. And I explain everything you need to know about the genitive case in this video here, so make sure to check it out. Most commonly, the genitive case shows possession. So in English, whenever you need to use the preposition of, in Russian, we use the genitive case. For example, это книга Анны. This is Anna's book. У меня нет времени. I have no time. In the second sentence, you can see that we have used the genitive case after нет. This is another very common usage of the genitive case, after the negation нет. To learn more about the usage of genitive case after negation, have a look at this video here. Okay, now let's practice the genitive case. Your task is the same, to fill in the blanks by using the correct form of the noun in brackets. And here, in all of these sentences, we will need to use the genitive form of the noun. Let's start. У меня нет денег. Это дом моей мамы. Это дом моей мамы. Я не вижу кота. Я не вижу кота. Нам нужно больше воды. Нам нужно больше воды. У нет машины. У Анны нет машины. By looking at these examples, you can see when do we use the genitive case. So we use the genitive case after the negation нет, like in the sentence «У меня нет денег». We use the genitive case to express possession. Это дом моей мамы. We also use it after quantifying words. Нам нужно больше воды. And we use it after the preposition «у» to express possession again. У Анны нет машины. Here in this sentence, you can notice that машины also is in the genitive case because it follows the negation нет. Here is a quick tip how to practice the genitive case. You can practice the genitive case by saying this is someone's object for everything around you. For example, это дом Марии. This is Maria's house. It's a great way to get comfortable with the genitive case. Now let's talk about the dative case. The dative case is used to indicate the indirect object of a sentence or the recipient of an action. For example, я дал книгу брату. I gave the book to my brother. Or мне нравится этот фильм. I like this movie. Here, брату, to my brother, and мне, to me, are in the dative case. So whenever you need to use the preposition to in English, think about using the dative case in Russian. And now let's practice the dative case. Your task remains the same. Fill in the blanks by using the correct form of the noun in brackets. Here we should put all of the nouns in brackets into the dative case. Я дал подарок другу. Я дал подарок другу. Им нужно помочь старушке. Им нужно помочь старушке. Ты сказал об этом. Ты сказал ей об этом. Я отправил письмо брату. Я отправил письмо брату. Мы купили игрушку ребенку. Мы купили игрушку ребенку. As we already said, in Russian, the recipient of an action will be in the dative case. Also, we use the dative case in constructions like мне нравится, мне нужно, мне холодно. And here is a quick tip. A great way to practice this case is by creating sentences like I'm giving something to someone. In this structure, to someone should be in the dative case. So to practice the dative form of different nouns, you can say я даю кому, which is in the dative case, что. So to practice the dative case, you can use the following example. Я даю ручку кому. Replace кому with different nouns to practice the dative case. The accusative case is all about the direct object of a sentence or the thing being acted upon. For example, я вижу собаку. I see the dog. Or она купила книгу. She bought a book. So here, собаку and книгу are in the accusative case as they are the objects of the verbs. So we always use the accusative case after verbs. Also, keep in mind that we will use the accusative case after verbs of motion and verbs of dynamics. And now let's practice the accusative case. Fill in the blank by using the correct form of the noun in brackets. You should put all of the nouns in brackets in this exercise into the accusative case. Я вижу собаку. Я вижу собаку. Они встретили в магазине. Они встретили Ивана в магазине. Ты читаешь газету. Ты читаешь газету. Я люблю музыку. Она купила новую машину. Она купила новую машину. A very important thing to keep in mind when you learn the accusative case is that The accusative case is the only case which distinguishes between animate and inanimate noun in terms of the form of the noun. So masculine nouns and plural nouns will have different forms in the accusative case depending on whether the noun is animate or inanimate. The form of the inanimate nouns for masculine and plural will correspond to the nominative case, and the forms for masculine and plural animate nouns in the accusative case will correspond to their forms in the genitive case. Here's a quick tip to practice the accusative case. Practice by describing actions you do every day. For example, I see the table. I eat an apple, etc. Я вижу стол. Я ем яблоко. Я читаю книгу. Я вижу кота. This will help you get comfortable recognizing and using the accusative case. The next is the instrumental case. The instrumental case is used to indicate the means or the instrument by which something is done, or to express accompaniment after the preposition с, with. For example, мы идем с другом. We're going with a friend. Or она пишет ручкой. She is writing with a pen. In these two examples, другом and ручкой are the nouns which are in the instrumental case. If you want to learn more about the instrumental case, I have a whole video covering everything you need to know about this case. Make sure to check it out. You need to fill in the blanks by using the correct form of the noun in brackets. In this exercise, all of the nouns should be put in the instrumental case. Let's start. Мы идем в парк с другом. Мы идем в парк с другом. Она работает учителем. Она работает учителем. Он рисует карандашом. Он рисует карандашом. Я интересуюсь искусством. Я интересуюсь искусством. Мы ужинали с семьей. Мы ужинали с семьей. Looking at these examples, you can notice when do we need to use the instrumental case. So as we already said, we use it to express accompaniment. Мы идем в парк с другом. Мы ужинали с семьей. We also use it after the verbs быть, стать, работать. Она работает учителем. We also use it to express the means or the instrument by which something is done. Он рисует карандашом. And also after the verb интересоваться. Я интересуюсь искусством. Another verb which requires the instrumental case is заниматься. Я занимаюсь математикой. Here's a quick tip how to practice the instrumental case more effectively. Try practicing by saying things like I'm going with someone or I am doing something with something. It's a simple way to reinforce this case in your mind. So, for example, you can say Я гуляю с. Я гуляю с другом. Я гуляю с подругой. Я гуляю с детьми. Я гуляю с семьей. Я гуляю с коллегой. Or я рисую карандашом. Я пишу ручкой. Я ем вилкой. Lastly, we have the prepositional case. This case is always used after prepositions, and prepositions which govern this case are о, which means about, в, in, на, on. So the prepositional case is used to talk about location after the prepositions в or на, as well as after the preposition о, which means about. So expressing actions like I'm thinking about, I'm dreaming about, I am talking about, and so on. For example, я думаю о книге. I'm thinking about the book. О чем? О книге. Here книга is in the prepositional case. Мы живем в Москве. We live in Moscow. В Москве is in the prepositional case. Here we are expressing location. So let's practice the prepositional case. Fill in the blanks by using the correct form of the noun in brackets. In this exercise, all of the nouns should be put in the prepositional case. Я думаю о книге. Я думаю о книге. Он живет в Москве. Он живет в Москве. Мы говорили о путешествии. Мы говорили о путешествии. Она учится в школе. Она учится в школе. Я мечтаю о будущем. Я мечтаю о будущем. And here's a quick tip. Make a list of places you visit or things you think about. Use sentences like I'm thinking about something or I'm in a place to practice the prepositional case. For example, я думаю о доме. Я думаю об отпуске. Я думаю о работе. Я думаю о коте. Or я в комнате. Я в городе. Я сейчас в Москве. Я в машине. Okay, now we have covered all of the 6 Russian cases. We've done a short practice for each of these 6 cases. And now it's time for mixed practice. So in this exercise, you will need to fill in the blanks by using the correct form of the noun in brackets. But you will need to also decide which case to use. You can now pause the video and do the exercise by yourself and then resume it to find out the correct answers. Or we can do this exercise together. Let's start. Я рассказал другу о путешествии. Я рассказал другу о путешествии. Другу is in the dative case because here друг is the recipient of an action. О путешествии. Путешествие here is in the prepositional case because we have the preposition о. And we know that after the preposition о, we always use the prepositional case. Я рассказал другу о путешествии. Она подарила маме красивые цветы. Она подарила маме красивые цветы. Маме here is in the dative case because mama is the recipient of an action. Цветы is in the accusative case because it's the object of the sentence and this is an inanimate noun. Therefore, the form will correspond to the nominative case. The next one. Мы встретились с Анной в кафе. Мы встретились с Анной в кафе. Here, Anna is in the instrumental case because it's followed by the preposition с to express accompaniment. С кем? С Анной. Кафе here is in the prepositional case. Где? Кафе. Он дал деньги брату, чтобы купить игрушку. Он дал деньги брату, чтобы купить игрушку. Here, brat is in the dative case because it is the recipient of an action, and игрушка is in the accusative case because that's the object of the verb. Купить что? Купить игрушку. Я нашел ключи на столе. Я нашел ключи. Here ключи is in the accusative case. Что? Ключи на столе. Here stол is in the prepositional case because it expresses location. And we use it after the preposition на. На столе. Она попросила Антона рассказать о работе. Она попросила кого? Here Anton is in the accusative case. Антона рассказать о чем? О работе. Here работа is in the prepositional case. Ты отправил письмо подруге и забыл сказать ей об этом. Ты отправил письмо подруге и забыл сказать ей об этом. Here both подруга and она are in the dative case. Мы разговаривали с коллегой о погоде. Мы разговаривали с коллегой о погоде. Коллега here is in the instrumental case because we use it after the preposition с to express accompaniment. О погоде. Погода here is in the prepositional case because it follows the preposition о. About. Погода о погоде. Я был на лекции с знакомым. Я был на лекции с знакомым. Here лекция is in the prepositional case. С кем? Знакомым. Here знакомый is in the instrumental case. We are expressing accompaniment. Мы купили подарок бабушке и положили его в сумку. Here, бабушка is in the dative case because it's the recipient of the action. Купили подарок кому? Купили подарок бабушке и положили его в сумку. Please don't get confused here. We have the preposition в, but we don't use the prepositional case. We use the accusative case instead, because we have used a verb of dynamics. Мы положили его куда? В сумку. Again, if you want to learn more about Russian verbs of statics and dynamics, make sure to check out this video here. And for those who want a challenge practice, I have prepared a few more sentences for you where you will need to fill in the blanks by using the correct form of the nouns in brackets, but they will be a little bit more advanced. So now is the time to pause the video and try to solve the exercise by yourself, or we can do that together. Я написал письмо бабушке и рассказал ей о новостях. Я написал письмо бабушке и рассказал ей о новостях. Кому написал письмо? Бабушке. Бабушка is in the dative case, that's the recipient of an action. И рассказал ей о новостях. Новости is in the prepositional case. Они разговаривали с преподавателем о лекции. Они разговаривали с преподавателем о лекции. Here преподаватель is in the instrumental case, лекция is in the prepositional case. Мы видели собаку в парке с хозяином. Мы видели собаку в парке с хозяином. Here собака is in the accusative case. Мы видели кого? Мы видели собаку. В парке, где? В парке. Парк is in the prepositional case. С хозяином. С кем? С хозяином. Хозяин is in the instrumental case. Ты дал маме подарок на день рождения. Ты дал маме подарок на день рождения. Here mama is in the dative case because it's the recipient of an action. День рождения is in the accusative case. Let's see the next one. Она гуляла с сыном в парке. Она гуляла с сыном в парке. Сын is in the instrumental case, and park is in the prepositional case because we're expressing location. Мы поехали в город на машине. Pay attention here. Город is in the accusative case, not in the prepositional. We use it after the preposition в, but together with a verb of motion. Поехали куда? Мы поехали в город. На чем? На машине. Машина is in the prepositional case. Я забыл о собрании и не сказал коллеге. Я забыл о собрании. Собрание here is in the prepositional case. И не сказал коллеге. Коллега here is in the dative case because it's the recipient of an action. Сказать кому? Сказать коллеге. Ты написал сообщение брату и рассказал о новом фильме. Ты написал сообщение брату и рассказал о новом фильме. Брат is in the dative case because it's the recipient of an action. Брату. Новый фильм is in the prepositional because we use it after the preposition о. So here we have also an adjective. You can see how adjectives decline in the prepositional case. Новый фильм becomes о новом фильме. Мы встретились с другом и говорили о будущем. Мы встретились с другом. С кем? С другом. We use the instrumental case. И говорили о будущем. О чем? Prepositional. О будущем. Они отправили посылку дяде и написали письмо ему. Они отправили посылку дяде и написали письмо ему. Дядя and on are both in the dative case because that's the recipient of the action. The exercises we did in this video cover all of the 6 Russian cases, and I believe that the tips I gave you for each of the cases will help you practice on your own. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave me a comment below about any questions or other topics you'd like me to cover. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Всем пока!